was doing a bit of sorting out at home, and I thought it was a good time to prepare for something. And so I'm sorting out what's in this box. Can you see what it is? Can you guess what I'm looking forward to? Yes, it's Easter, my favourite time of year. And in this box are some decorations which I put on a little Easter tree in my living room at Easter, and I decorate it over Easter weekend when we remember all of the events of the time that Jesus died, but when he rose again as well. So I've got that ready. What else can I do to prepare for Easter? Well, at Christmas we have Advent, don't we? And we count the days to Christmas, and during Advent at church we think about how important it was, all the important people in the story of that first Christmas. And at Easter we have a time called Lent. Lent is the 6 weeks leading up to Easter, and it's a time where Christians all over the world prepare themselves for Easter. It's a time especially where we think of growing closer to God, and I'll tell you some more about that a bit later on too. But the exciting thing today is it's Pancake Day, isn't it? Or the other word for it is Shrove Tuesday. Because of a long time ago, people used to have a special church service on the day before Lent began, where they went to church and they said sorry for all the wrong things they had done. And it was called being shriven, saying sorry and accepting forgiveness. And then they would come home and they would make their pancakes, because during Lent they wouldn't eat all those rich things, and they would make the pancakes to use up all the things. So we're going to prepare for making our pancakes, and I think if you're all chefs, you need to prepare a chef's hat. So we're going to make a chef's hat. Let's see what happens. Right, so if we are going to make pancakes, we are going to be chefs. So I thought we could make a chef's hat. And for that, you will need a long strip of card. Now, most chef's hats are white, but if you haven't got white, that's fine. It's got to fit around, around your head, with a little bit of overlap so you can stick it down, okay? Now, I didn't have white cards, so what I did was I stuck 3 pieces of paper together, and you can see that I've folded it over. So 3 pieces of ordinary printer paper stuck together, and then made my nice white strip, because it needs to be a bit stronger than just one layer. Okay, so that's that. And the other thing you need for a chef's hat is the top bit, isn't it? And that's usually white as well, but you don't have to make it white. And it needs to be some stretchy paper. Now, because we're on lockdown, you might not be able to go and get something. You don't really need to go and get something for this. You could use anything you have around the house. You can stick some more ordinary paper together and make a long strip of paper, then scrunch it up. I wanted anything that was white, so I found some in my recycling, some wrapping paper. It's just the right size. It's scrunched up already, and it's got a nice white side that I can use. Now this needs to be a little bit longer than your white strip, because we're going to put some creases, some pleats into this. But as I said, if you haven't got something like this, you could use newspapers or anything really. I quite like the idea of a coloured chef's hat, so you could make a coloured chef's hat. So unscrunch your paper and lay it out, and lay it on top of your, just a little, about halfway down your strip. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make a little pinch in the paper like this. We're going to make what's called a pleat, and what we're trying to do is make our paper fit onto our band. So I'm going to make a little fold. Doesn't have to go right up to the top, and I'm going to press it to smooth it out. And just to hold that in place, a little bit of glue just at the bottom. Oops. Be careful because this paper's not very strong, so be careful not to tear it. Already had a disaster with the pancakes. So there we go. Press, press, press. Okay, and then I'm going to put another one. Little Pleat. Fold it over. You don't have to press it right up to the top, just press it a little way up. Put some glue. Oops. Stick it down. Now it nearly fits my strip. There's my strip. See, just need to put a few more. So put another one the other side. This will make it look more like a chef's hat at the front when you've finished. Oops. Another pleat. Squish it down. Get the idea? And stick it. Right, still just a little bit long, so I think one more pleat each side. Now, chefs wear hats for one good reason. It means the hair doesn't fall out in your food. There's a story about a king called Henry VIII that got very, very angry one day when there was hair in his food, and he said after that everybody in the kitchen should wear a hat. I don't know whether that's a true story or a legend. That's what the story was. Hats used to be all different colours, and only the top chef wore a white hat. But now most people seem to wear white. Now I've made that. There we are. So that's got to fit. So now on the strip, I'm going to put glue all the way along. Make sure you've got it deep enough so that the paper doesn't fall off. About halfway down your strip. Don't stick the whole of the strip. About halfway, just over perhaps. Lots of glue. Butterfingers. And then make sure you can always, if you've pleated your paper a bit much, you can always pull it out a little bit. Make sure your paper fits right the way along. And make sure it's on all of the glue, because you don't want the hat getting glued to your head, because that would look silly, wouldn't it? Okay, so now I've got my hat with the band, and I could glue it that way and have a Peppa Pig hat, which I quite like. But actually, yes, if I was... I didn't mean to have a Peppa Pig hat, I meant to have a white hat, didn't I? So I'm going to turn it over. Oh, yeah, let's turn it over. Oh dear, this is what happens if you put the pattern sides down. Nice. White side down if you want a white hat. There we go. All stuck. So it will give me a nice white hat. So now what you've got to do is put glue down one edge of it. I'm going to bring that over like that. Put some glue down one edge. Right down. Not too much, but make sure you've gone right to the edge. And bring this side down to meet this side. Do you remember I said when we make that strip just a bit wider, so that we've got room to stick it. Now my white, because I had the folded paper, my white is sticking up as well, so I'm just going to put some more glue under that. So you can make the pattern side, you can make the white side. I think I'm making the white side because I want a proper chef's hat. So there we are. Now that is a little bit too tall for a chef's hat, and there's a hole in the top. So what you have to do next is get a hold of all the top and scrunch it like that. Perhaps give it a little twist, and then put your hand inside your hat and push that down and grab hold of it inside. Pull your hat shape out. Now, if you want to be sure that everything stays, you could, if you've got a stapler, very carefully put a couple of little staples in. I'm putting it so that the sharper bit of the staple where it folds over is on the outside, because I don't want to scratch my head. And then inside, you can see inside there, where I pulled that lump of paper down, I'm going to put a couple of staples, staple in that so it stays down. And there is the chef's hat, which you can wear for pancake making. Now, it would be really nice if before you stuck it together, fixed it together, you could decorate around your strip and put your name on it. And certainly if you're going to come to the Zoom this afternoon, it would be lovely to see your hat. There's mine. Can you see? Yes. I look like a proper chef almost. This is a shame that my cooking isn't that brilliant today. But there you go. There's your chef's hat. I'd love to see yours decorated. I didn't bring any colours downstairs with me to do it, but I'd love to see it with your name on. I'm going to add my name later on in felt tip. Okay, I am going to give this a go, but I'm not sure how it's going to work out because I don't usually film myself cooking, and my history with pancakes has not been too good. So let's see how we go, shall we? So first I'm going to quickly make some pancakes. In this jug I've got 100 grams of plain flour. I'm going to add 2 eggs that I've pushed together. And stir that around a bit. Wouldn't usually do this in the middle of the air, but it's easier. So I haven't got anybody to film me in the kitchen. So I'm using eggs. This is a traditional pancake mix, but lots of people now don't eat eggs either because they've got allergies or perhaps they're vegan, and that's fine. There's lovely pancake recipes out there where you don't need eggs to make them. My favourite one for my grandson who can't have eggs or milk, it's got bananas instead of eggs, and it's really yummy. So you might be able to do this yourself. Mum or Dad might let you do it yourself, or you might try to get the lumps out. You might let Mum and Dad make it themselves, or some people buy pancakes. I'll be honest with you, I was going to buy some ready-made pancakes for this, but they didn't come in my shopping. So you got an extra bit of me making pancakes. Only trouble is now I'm going to have to eat them. I wonder what I'll have on top. So I've just put 300 millilitres of milk in. That was cow's milk, but if you don't have cow's milk, you can use whatever kind of milk you drink, oat milk or almond milk or anything like that. And I am just going to add a little tiny bit of salt because I think it helps the flavour. So that's my pancake mix all made. Now is the scary bit. I've got my pancake pan. This is a special pancake pan. I can't remember if this is a special pancake pan that my pancakes don't work in, so we'll have to see, but it's got the recipe on the back. Can you see? Which helps because I don't have to look the recipe up every time. I'm just going to put a little bit of oil on my pancake pan. Hope it won't stick. I'm going to turn the gas on. Now, if you are big enough to do the cooking yourself, remember to keep your hands well away from the hot things, and don't do all this unless Mum or Dad or somebody older is there to help you. Got to keep everything away that might get burnt. Oh, I shouldn't do that really. I'm just seeing if the pan's warm. this now, because if I mess this up, you are going to see. I have to say, the first pancake I make usually doesn't work. So let's have a look, shall we? Not very confident. This may be the lumpiest pancake mix ever. Let's see. I'm going to turn the gas down a bit so it's not too hot. I'm going to pour some in. Ooh. Oh dear. I don't think we need that lump in there. Don't look, don't look. Right. This is what comes of making it in the middle of the air. I'm making my pancake quite thick. I'm going to turn it so it goes right over the pan. There we are. It looks better from where you are than it does from where I am. But we shall see. So you have to cook it so that the bottom of the pancake is cooked. Now, if you think about it, pancakes are a great way of using up all the extra milk, all the extra eggs and the flour. But some of the very rich things we put on top of them are the things that some people give up for Lent. So I wonder what you like your pancakes with. I like mine with lemon juice and sugar, because that's what I used to have when I was a little girl, or sometimes with maple syrup. But Nutella's good as well, isn't it? Have you ever had them with a Nutella and a banana? Now I think I might have made this one a little bit thick. We're going to see. I'm going to check it to see. Ooh. Not quite cooked underneath. This one's going to take a long time. Just looking for my frying thing. There it is. Found it. Okay. Let's have a look, see if it can be turned over, because it has to be turned over. You can't flip a pancake until you cook both sides. I know that because I've tried it and it makes a mess. Right. Ooh, are you watching? Please, 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 please don't break the pancake. Please don't break. Well, I could try and flip it. Do you know what? You know what? This pancake might just work if I flip it. Oh yeah. Bit nervous. Are you ready? 1, 2. Woo! It didn't. Oh. Okay, I've cleaned the floor and I'm going to try again. That one was too thick. I think that's why I couldn't turn it over. Put a bit more oil. It's okay, because you're used to me having disasters, aren't you? Do you remember the puddle I walked in the other week? All right, let's have this. We'll make this one thin. Pour some in. Whoops. Coat the pan. Oh, come on. Because I made the last one too thick, I'm trying not to make this one too thick. It's not going to be thick enough now. We're going to get there, don't panic. Right. The floor's clean, so I don't want this one to end up on the floor. Let's see what happens this time, shall we? Ooh, this is pancake pan. Aha. Okay. Ooh. Look, turn it over. Now, the question is, shall I toss it or shall I just cook it and put it on a plate? Didn't do too well with the tossing last time, did I? Let's see how this one's going. Oh, at least it's moving. Look, can you see? Yeah, it looks like a pancake. I'm hoping this one's not going to end up on the floor because I'd really like to eat one of them. have a look. I'm going to have a look and see. Now, I am sure that your pancakes will be much better than this. One thing I've learned is this isn't the pan that I like cooking pancakes in. So let's see. This should be cooked. Shall I toss it? Are you going to help with me? Ready? I can't look at you and do this at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Whoa! Caught it. And it's okay. I think that's probably safe to eat. I am 100% sure that you are not going to make such a mess as me, but I hope you enjoyed my pancake method. Should we do one more just for luck? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Whoa, whoa. Oh, yes. I shan't be tossing real pancakes when we play pancake tossing. I'll see you in a minute. So my pancake tossing wasn't brilliant, and I forgot to wear my chef's hat, which was, perhaps that's why I dropped my first one. So I thought I'd show you a way of making some pancakes that you can play games with, so you're not wasting food, and that you can toss for a little bit longer than an ordinary pancake. Because if you're tossing a real pancake, even if you're really good at it, after about 3 or 4 tosses, it starts to get a bit broken. So for this, you will need some, if you've got them, some paper plates. If you haven't got paper plates at home, you could cut some cardboard circles and do the same thing. But you need some paper plates, you need some scrap paper, some newspaper. I cut up some envelopes out of the recycling. And you just cut it in strips and then scrunch it up. So this, I'll do it with this letter, I'll show you. Just cut some strips and scrunch it up a bit. And you need a stapler or some really strong glue. A stapler is best, but if you're little, you might need mum or dad to help you with your stapler. And the first thing to do is to decorate the outside of your paper plates, not the curved inside, the back of the plates, to look like pancakes. Now, you could paint them, that would be the easiest way. I'm not going to be very good at decorating this because I don't want you to have to watch it for too long, so I'm just going to put some yellow around the edges. Of course, my pancake that fell on the floor is a completely different colour. You could paint them sort of yellowy brown. You could sort of do some dotty bits because they're usually different colours. There they are. Not brilliant. That's my pancake. You can take more time over it. So to make one pancake, you need 2 plates or 2 circles of cardboard. If you do it with cardboard, try and do it with not too thick cardboard so that you can still squish it around and put something in the middle. The best thing to do for this is paper plates if you've got them. You might find something in the recycling. If you've had pizzas, you might have those pieces of polystyrene or cardboard they put at the back of pizzas. So you need to staple the 2 paper plates together with the bumpy side sticking out, and we're going to staple it make sure it doesn't have to be too close together, but you don't want to leave too big a gap. And when it's nearly done, it looks like a little mouth, doesn't it? I'm going to stick some of these pieces of paper in. The reason I'm putting the piece of paper in is it just makes them a better weight for tossing for a game. So just in that middle piece, so you can still carry on stapling, and then all the way down. There you've got your pancake. It's not wasting food. If you've made it out of mainly recycling, it's not wasting things. It can still go in the recycling afterwards if you want. And you need your frying pan. And then, whoop, you can flip it. And you can do it lots and lots of times and you can play games with it. You can race with your family. You could see who could do the most flips. You can even put the pancake on your head and see if you can walk across the room. I haven't got any children to have a race with me, so I'm going to go and get Dave and see if he will race me in the garden. But first I'm going to make him a pancake. So I've got my pancake, I've got my frying pan, I've got David. Have you got your pancake? He's got his pancake, and we're going to have a race. Make sure he doesn't cheat. You ready? 1, 2, 3, go. We're going to have a rematch. Come back. I don't think you flipped it. Ready?
Yep.
Go. I think I dropped my pancake. That's a change, isn't it, children? So you could have races like that. Or, if you're very clever like David, let's count how many times he could do it. So then,
That was interference.
he's just too clever. Have fun with your pancakes and your family. Well, you've seen me making pancakes and trying to toss them, and some pancake games as well that you might like to try. But what happens next? What happens after Pancake Day? Well, tomorrow we call Ash Wednesday, and that's because there's a special church service that happens very often on that day, where people go to church and they sort of say sorry for all the wrong stuff they've done, and as a sign that they're getting ready to remember Jesus and God during Lent, the minister makes a cross on their heads made from the ashes of burning a palm cross, like the ones we have on Palm Sunday. So that's the first day of Lent. And in the next 6 weeks, the time leading up to Easter, is a time when people do things to get closer to God. It used to be that lots of people would fast. And that comes from that 40 days that Jesus spent in the desert before he started his work on earth, coming close to God, and he fasted, he didn't eat. So during that time, people didn't eat so much, and that's why we had our pancakes, because we ate all the lovely rich things. And today, not so many people fast in that way during Lent, but some will give up something. They'll give up their chocolate, and they'll give up doing something that takes time, so that they can spend more time thinking about God and getting closer to him. This year, you might like to take up something during Lent. Usually, when we're not in lockdown, I try and do things during Lent, like little acts of kindness, to give people something each day, or to put something aside each day to go to the food bank, or perhaps just doing something nice for somebody. Taking up something while I'm spending time as well, trying to get close to God. This year, the adults at the church, a lot of us are getting a special book where we're going to read that same book through the weeks up to Easter, and spend some time learning about how God wants us to live, and perhaps spend some time talking about it together. But as a family, you can decide whether you want to do something. It might be that you just think of one thing that you want to do each day to get closer to God. It might be remembering in the morning to say, "Hello God, here I am, please be with me today." It might be you might want to use one of the sheets that we've sent through to you, where there's some things that you can do as a family together each day, just a little thing. It's up to you to decide. But over the next few weeks, you can do things looking forward to Easter, looking forward to what we celebrate then. And I hope that you'll enjoy that time. it would be really lovely if you were able to join us this afternoon on Zoom. There'll be Kate and Joel and myself, and we will play a couple of games. You will need to have with you for that a pancake to toss. Now, it doesn't have to be a real one. It could be a cardboard one, or it could be a paper plate one, but it would be one of the games we play. And if you make a hat, chef's hat, don't forget to wear it. So I look forward to seeing you then, if you can be there. If you can't, and you want to send some photos of the things that you've done for Pancake Day, you can get Mum and Dad to post them on the Facebook page, or they can send them through to Kate or myself. It would be lovely to see them, but it would be lovely if we can share them with each other as well. Have a wonderful day, and don't eat too many pancakes, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye.